Yemesa hwe me nipa ye nua ba ya ofendom omodos ye. Me ni bia kasa. Ya ye nua Hopeson adoye. Me ne nakasa Gifty adoye. Me ne nakasa Reverend O.Bempa. Me ne nakasa. Me ne Agra papa nso akasa. Me ne nikunu esiama enso akasa. Ebiduma me no kasa ye no. They told me say the extent of abuse are affecting almost so much say psychologically. It threw them off balance. The year omoya, some of them puni say omonana nom dachi beba be who say verification on social media. If you uko, but it's something they feel say it's difficult. It makes it very difficult to forgive. That is the feedback. She is going through a lot, I guess. Obeti metra 15 years ago. What is even more troubling, say, the cases need being so courts. Ne mo kasai. Baby akudono. Say butia noa. Wan sha na sentence ne bi abeka ho. Na wo BBD. Nene. Ebi ayabo waduku. Necessary ukutwu gotam. And of course, it is legal. You have to work because it's part of the punishment.
Apology be and I'm back to I say yes, I can audio Nina. The moment answer be share this particular video at the amami. And then first time I am subscribing now to side that the one to update you for Beba. Eba also be the first or second person answer Ebeka that particular update. Now we crime check officer friend Ibrahim Asanso Ababonte. Na ina ini Jumadia Ibrahim edin Ghana so wani prisoners no interview ni no board prisoners ni bebre na agrada ekoto ensamom no ono nipa ba ko a we weki news ni say agrada enko ensamom e ma che news we e kese e wo media so na abusuya wasanso ababonten the latest one from ensamom we from ensamom a che Ibrahim Muti nsema woka na say as from person so yare ho. Now, according to Ibrahim, no, or say, just say, or Fred a revenues member, or say, all the was on a mamia gada akasa, and after so mamia gada akasabi, or Fred a gifty adoye, any Nikun Hopeson adoye. Oh, yeah, was also afraid a revenues member. Oh, we was also afraid a agada mammy and papa, any agada and me as so ma agada. Aye bonny a dear two winning in an idea, say. Crime check officer say what from the intina uses a crime check officer a from Nina a apology artist and uncle pese offer children offer see a pa a yes uncle fu winina at your nanka omutimi a day or mobile a gada bonny a channel because Yebekaya hopes nadoye any year Emp.Gifty adoye at the mamia gada agent court Nina a defamation game. Nti utie nsema crime check officer ya friend Ibrahim kan ultimately say wani hopes na doye kasai but enkomo no utie sin enkomo no si kwa ya kame akwa say hopes na doye ene ne Emp.Gifty omanje ntum just mo ba asem no etuguye na che say o say obesan so eno makasa biem but conversation one disclose it but otie ho ketuwa bi ntu ye badwemba wan kasa betia say ya de so no makasa no omanje ntum sa so no so ne revenues mempa ekasa ni nyina wan disclose na busia wa kire mamia gada situation a ode wo nsamom nyina asan so a kire adwuma mamia gada bitimi aye no so ntiwe obehu a ebia mamia gada be free nsamom ban de na kise wa yi ni pafoforo a kise san so ekita ne sa no adwuma abusia ode kamwe na de enko ne nkotie sin ne competition esikoa eni sin nchechemu no esikoa
ebe na wotwe ni de yenu aba ye sister Agrada asem ebetu dwa na yina enim ye atono ekwan asem bisi wo na sori den moma enipa bi eba ho upon her invitation say ya yese faketo abeje kese enam so ene wakowie enso medium security prison ya man 15 years the asem betu dwa na we insisted say Thursday Friday na oni ifiase and we still insist na oni ifiase though some people came ebisa na crime check he didn't try na we still insist say na oni at the time because Thursday na administrative processes no more Friday was a holiday so she couldn't have been in prison but the bottom line is our sister is finally in prison nene ye ne mo betwetwen come on the latest on your sister. Emprepi enipa won no sebi won baby di kakra no omko pie fiase ayana eden ma won. So the question is, will Agra be able to cope with the stress of prison life? Enyasem gotwa inti yeba behwe a couple of things. Yakwa kopie in some female prison, how she is going to cope. Ahonye ni fie emra ewo ho untimi nye dia ope ewo time a obeda ewo time a obe sorry obi ene be hyehye mra na ma ese se o scrab a obe scrab ese se oba obedo ese se uye adwuma be ma efie ni mu atia obeye, especially in a sentence in hard labor account. And then I use a frame, especially one BBD. How long it usually takes for one BBD. No? So once I'm copy quarter, how long it takes? Because we all know say a che answer na ya convict home. Agrada no. It took almost 3 years. And no could be a bunch of body. You are quickly swept into prison. You signed him a lot of political figures. It been cray free mo. Our copy prison. Our charges and all range from causing financial loss to the state and so on and so forth. Almost they be 4 years, 5 years into identity, and as such figures almost huge. It take you a long time and sana ya convict. After usually, almost useful lots of technicalities in court. Into 10 years, some local near to Asha na court na ba. No need be there. We have a lawyer we have legal aid scheme, and legal, I don't know whether it is a commission. Lawyers somewhere across the country, more than 40. Into many people don't have access to legal representation. They are into what's a call and push you. It's very hard. Why sister with my cope with confinement, especially when Bibia Wajinania life has been so easy for her. And nipa pi na wa offend wo mo amen na so ama wakwa kowie efiase na wo koi, will you survive? But lots of people go how say mo hwe the weight mo hwe how mo hwe atete so mo be ko hye ba bia e be regulate my life mo nya duru kra an kombe no mawo
Mami one, we have the soul one. You will be a sort of one. So I should have mammy so much to me. It's what I mean, I have to say, Mam face can uncle mamma, no mammy, never no more. That's one.
Yebesa hwe menipa yi nua ba ya offend omodos yi meni bia kasa ya ye nua Hopeson adoye meni na kasa Gifty adoye meni na kasa Reverend O.Bempa meni na kasa meni Agra papa nso akasa meni nikunu asiama enso akasa me mpese me share the details of our conversation yet asori a omo eyeye Reverend asiama eyeye no some of them. And I said the top echelon, Omubu Nkotodwe, a patchon, as a Ghana for, and found bonnet and chawomo, a nipa, your sister or friend womo, and found bonnet and chawomo. It's a good message because I said, when you offend someone, the best thing to do is to appeal to the person. Na ononsunya temebi, na opa, or the actual. But the question others are asking, so in say, when the insults were all over the place, when the guns were blazing, Adentina, your sister, no, man stop no, man stop no, because it appears there was so much vilification of certain individuals consistently. Sebi, sankrofo no, omo ye nipa, omo feelings, and if they are being subjected to persistent abuse, they told me, say, the extent of abuse are affecting almost so much. Say, psychologically. It threw them off balance. The year omoya, some of them put say omonana nom dachi beba be who serve verification on social media. It be but it's something they feel say it's difficult. It makes it very difficult to forgive. That is the feedback I receive from some people. Yes, sister, I offended. Initially, when I did a video, the first video, I think others thought I was being sympathetic to her. I was not necessarily being sympathetic. I think so. Her at the end of the day, the submissions I made, because you know, Oko prison, now I hope so. Be no, I am a better person. Why did I say no, I be a better person? Because at the end of the day, the whole world knows what we do at crime check. Say it doesn't matter what you may have done. Yeah, but you for free prison. You reintegrated them, some of them into society under our ex-convict reintegration project. So the bottom line is that if you are free prison, they will become better individuals. Normal life, IABB Papa. We better argue, say, yes, these were petty offenders. Maybe we are punchy, maybe we are, by nominate. And yes, I know, yeah. Or defrauded by false pretenses. Let's not also forget, as a woman, every prison, it be defrauded by false pretenses. And almost sacra. We are saying home faso. It's true. Say, Udi Bonia, I saw Yamaketia. And we are not saying, say, we are against the judgment of the court. No. It is clear. The court has spoken. You never know, for say, court, there was a miscarriage of justice. And I said there was a hole in the arguments advanced by the judge. A bed trigger and appealer. It is within their right to do so. Young saw them ho. Na young tie a chopper. Won edebeto abonte. Na iria yahwe. Whether sa chopper way. Ebe melty the hearts of some people. Na iria discussion ewo ho no. Ye de abetuja.
Selfunso biara apa. Aba omani mu. Aba kroni mu. Amani pampem ni nipa bia sode. Omani mpanimfo. Oh Jesus. Omo ka bia eyeye. Omani mu asofo. Enipa biara. Owo omani mu. Oye Ghana ni otiwi ase a. Enipa no. Ya fom no. Ye ne maame. Yonkoto dei. Yesterday. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President of Ghana, the President of the land, John Dramani Mahama, on any vice, Her Excellency, Yamami Nana Jane, Omampanyini, Nehukani, the First Lady of the land. Yamami Lotina, Asofu Penifua, Christopher, radio presenters, bloggers, and Nipa Biara, and Nipa Kuku businessmen, and Nipa Biara, Yamami no Mukasa Akasetia, Wonyam Fanche, He's a Christo Yesu, the Nediaten, and it's in a Besine. But that's what say Asia. Yesterday, Radley. Who could to enemy of answer to Akuma so? Never by a consul 3 so. Babo, yes. Sire Radley said the Abba was so piara. The Asawakuma Mupiara. What I am an aka. To Yamensuma the Atil so and sorry free so. Oh, yesterday, and you're running Cassa. And you're running Cassa. Oh, a soon payemo. I won't go to see them payemo. Oh, yesterday, Risibi and Tasikiaka. Ribassis. Reka Santa Sibian Tayaba. Aruakizian Tayaba. Rezata Sibi Anta Sakayaka. Rebasiki Akayama. Mazata Siki Ankayaba. Yesidimo. 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 Any Bompire. Yesidimo. Any Bompire.
Ebinim bisa say na crime check what me akosra inuaba no anase wontimi akosra. She is going through a lot, I guess. Obeti metra 15 years no. What is even more troubling say the cases ni be so work court. Ne mo kasai. Baby akodo no. Say butia no a wanhwa na sentence ni bi abeka ho. It be a civil case. And no, it doesn't warrant a prison sentence. But Sika Ibinimesi heavily to the tune of 20 million Ghana cedis. And Sika Ketwa. And how is our sister going to deal with this plethora of cases? Whilst in prison, wait and won't be sure there soon. Na ibi eba beka ho. Eno ene asem no. Areho. You do be out time will be. I think it's a prison in your baby abewish for even your worst enemy. But I know, say there are certain circumstances a pushy binum. I'm taking this course of action. If you are once will be taking the same course of action because I know maybe how it's painful. When you are pushed to the wall, it becomes very painful. Say no one will have with the beche. And at the end of the day, we have religious teachings and so on. The internet Bible say, "Okoda if you say." Aden Mama Mesra. Bible anka say we born it to say we generalize it BBR say we have to go and visit them. It is upon these religious injunctions and I feel obliged say if we want to go and visit her, we have to go and visit her. And no that does not or will not exonerate her from the crimes that she has committed. Rudolph,
Agra dasem ya Hopeson. One Kofi bebre akasa. Hopeson adoye na ne yere ne ebusuanu bi. Reverend O.Bempa no akasa. Siama ne kunu ne papa. Ya em say ye call nsawom koyen kokonkete project.
DJ's kitchen project.
Oh, okay. Say when ya kwenya ne Agra den shia adon minim ne course say bia ukonhu Agra.
Yeah, me very prison. You saw say me because a project in Ekwe me ko chiacha empanifo no be beto person who say me ko hu Agra na some.
Yes, yeah.
Wasumo keka.
Masumo keka me. Na itifo no be so.
No, I don't want to talk about that for now.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that for now. And as to, I've already indicated so many hopes in Akasa, and then if you listen to him, there's a lot of pain. They have endured a lot on any year, but he hasn't given me permission to share the details of our conversation. I don't think so to be ethically right to do that. But later on, I will talk to him for an interview.
Okay.
Now, whatever he told me, if he wishes, say, or share it publicly. Now I share. My wife was Wakasa. It was very emotional. The woman has suffered. She has suffered. But once again, Oma me permission to share what we discuss. You know this social media thing.
Yeah.
BTB it becomes a headline.
I think some bloggers are itching.
Yeah, so, yeah. I know, but I don't think so to be appropriate to share that information. Usually, in mainstream media. You know, I've been with GBC for 15 years. And you know the ethical values, the ethical principles. So that you just don't go and then spew information when you have spoken to someone, especially when the matter necessarily may not be in the public interest. This is something that you shared with someone. So that I say, and I think that maybe journalists have to understand what constitutes the public interest and so on and so forth. So Assembia, Uncle can be may retract it. Yeah, but then just a brief one. It's been difficult for these individuals, just as I said. They have been going through a lot. They have been going through a lot. When I spoke to the wife it was difficult. It was difficult. So what's the deal? The wife for a very long time. She doesn't want to talk about.
That's Hopeson Adoye.
The wife, because Oyoba.
Okay.
She did not, or is not jubilating over the incarceration of Agrada.
I think so.
Or your mother. And why they were conducting her so well. So well. But as to whether they would want to withdraw the case or not, no. It is not for me to decide. It is for their family to decide on any kuno. And any kuno kasa is the same. And we hope whatever is in their interest, they pursue it. But then they should pursue it looking at it, from a broader perspective. The person has already been sentenced. And assuming, certain actions, I know what cases against her in court, the more years baby sister I don't think she will survive in prison. I'm making this analysis based on the sort of person he is. So it's usually difficult to have video say they can share or more how people suffer in prison. Now will BBD. Nene ibi ayabo duku necessary ukuchugotam. And of course it is legal. You have to work because it's part of the punishment. Exactly. And these are some of the issues. Mako, President Mahama, I catch him say, "Oh no, cry you didn't kushimwa, or won't be bidi, or
The conditions in the cells were terrible. The ventilation is very poor, and the prison cells are overcrowded. I mean, a room that should take like 4 people, has about 10 people stuffed in there. And for those of us who have, asthma-related diseases, I mean, some of us will die if we're ever locked in that cell because you won't be able to breathe, really.
President Mahama said that because one or asthma, again, also conditions never on
prison and easy.
This is what is likely to befall
Agrada,
our sister.
I think Hopeson Adoye near to me okay we're conducting who ye and since you're jaily Agrada me who said I've been making comments on the matter, and I think why are there and Agrada, I mean there are in Kofi Yachioma to prison, and this shows that celebrities, politicians, this shows that the law is no respecter of person. It doesn't respect your position.
Law is the law.
The law is the law. And it's the wheels turn slowly, but it grinds finely, simply finely.
I didn't say, that phrase, the law is the law, appears to have come to stay. A battled Chief Justice, now a bit of MPP for, now, they were singing it loud. And then later, NDC for who used to. It is assembly Kutia MPP for. NDC for the law is the law. You get a point. And it is true. Young fact that the political and the law is the law, and the law reigns supreme to our sense.
So you realize that there are some big names that are praising. Even when we come to our celebrities, they say Kwakese, Ekrapim Polo, Chachu, can't say Shatawale, Medical, all these people went to prison, and their experiences there were not any good. Kafa situation in prison, I mean, they were not happy. Even I remember when they came out of prison, they had to go and wash themselves in the sea. And only the train. But the most important thing now, Agrada is in prison. When the BBD, Wako prison. I mean, the emotional distress at the Bebreno. Some of these big names are Amoko prison, Amoko Yare, because of the condition. As a son, preoccupy, your condition has changed. So when we go, for example, to say Atuesian say
he suffered.
Yes, even a former minister, be a friend of Dan Abodapi, also co prison or Koyare or Yare, Kwame, all those names. Yes. So we, in fact, spending 15 years in jail, Agrada, and oti prison na yede nkwan nsunsu bi abre no I don't know how.
Yeah, they who say nkwan nsunsu where did that?
Well, in fact, we are not on the prisons for you.
Of course, you are right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah,
it's not. It will not be easy for.
And then you can't blame the prison service for doing inquiry so because budgetary allocation to the Ghana Prison Service. I keep on saying is once they 80 pesos, and I hope that this government will increase the allocation to the prison service because the prison service are operating as magicians. It's not easy. So when inquiry banners and chilling, when inquiry banner. Makunim when inquire banner lack the necessary nutrients. You can't throw any appointee, you can't accuse them, say it is their making. It's been difficult. That is why our DJ's kitchen project is so important because we in cook kakra, we in fish kakra. We have a DJ's kitchen project and moshe crime check ya koha ye pesi ya boa na itime establish bill and someone female to supplement rationing. It's difficult.
Audio Jungle.